Question 3 is around building a team during and after a seed round. So the Redditor asks, and specifically, he's trying to manage the company in a way that he is seeking investment, but he's also wanting to bring on employees, but he needs the investment dollars to be able to subsidize the employees. So very similar to question 1.
Yeah.
He's a little bit further along in the journey. What he's asking is, how would he be able to bring good talent on without the ability to pay them right then and there? And then if he's going to give them equity, does he need to run that by his potential investors first before he promises the equity to the employees?
Yeah, I mean, after you've raised seed capital, it's a lot different equation on how you build the team. And I'm a big believer that seed capital is still very, very early in the company, and substantially everyone who works full-time in the company should have some sort of option granted into it for multiple reasons, which I won't go into. Especially when you're trying to hire incredible talent. Now, I believe that the DNA of a company is set between employee number 5 and number 12. And if you're hiring people you can afford at that point after raising a very small seed round, you can obviously figure out the consequences from that. So equity has to come into play there. You're not going to be able to pay them full market salary, most likely with a small-ish seed round. If you can, great, go for it, do it, get the best people you can. If you can't, share the risk reward with that superstar, that A talent. And that's worked really, really well for me in my past ventures. And we're doing it today. Everyone that comes aboard as a full-time employee here for the next, 15 or 20 or 30 people will get equity grants. And you'd like to continue that at a smaller level even after the company's been de-risked somewhat. It's just a personal philosophy, and I find that everyone that works there treats the company as their own. And that is irreplaceable. And it's the right thing to do as an owner, I think. You shouldn't have all the financial rewards, and you should share some of the reward with the team. Here's the interesting thing. What I like to do is actually build an equity pool into the seed round. So smart angel investors will make you do it before they write capital in. Most seed funds will ask what's your equity incentive plan before they do it. Sometimes you can sneak the round in after you do it, which is really nice because then the investor also dilutes in addition to you. But typically what you're going to do with a professional investor is create a 5, 10, 15% equity pool that sits there and you dole out. And these are not grants of shares, these are grants of options, which function just like shares. But if the employee freaks out and leaves within a month, then you're not on the hook. You usually will put a 1-year vesting cliff on those, so they won't begin vesting until after the first year, and then 4 years to vest the whole thing. So if they stay for a month or 2 or 3 and they're not a right fit, well, they're going to leave without a lot of equity, or with no equity. If they leave after 12 months, well, I can assume that if you have it fired after 12 months, they've been a contributor to that startup, and yes, they're going to vest 25 or 33% of their shares, depending on whether you do a 4 or a 3-year vesting schedule with them. So probably long-winded and went a little off topic. Bring it back to the question. Is there anything else we missed on there, or did I touch on it?
That answers it. So, really, it comes down to when you're the CEO of a company, ultimately, you are the number one salesperson for that company. Mm-hmm. When you're selling investors, you're selling employees, you're selling everyone on the belief that this company is going to be worth more in the future than it is now. Mm-hmm. So I think this comes down to a sales question for you. Are you good enough to sell great talent?
Yep.
To come in either at a below market value or having a percentage of equity in the company? And then do you have savvy enough investors? I mean, you talking about a seed pool is very valuable for you here. You need to create that. You need to be upfront with your investors and let them know that. And then that's going to give you the ability to bring on, higher talent to give them a portion as long as you can sell them on the future of the business.
Right, and the early stage CEO of a tech company has 3 jobs. The first one is to recruit, hire, and retain the best talent. And that's exactly what we're talking about here. Number 2 is to make sure you don't run out of money, and that goes without saying. And the third is to create the vision and share it with all the stakeholders. And there's a great article from Fred Wilson on exactly that, the role of a CEO. If you Google Fred Wilson, role of a CEO, you'll get that article where I pulled that from. Another good topic on Fred's blog is how you dole out equity compensation. So if you Google Fred Wilson, Wilson on avc.com, and then look for how do I do equity grants or something similar. He's got a great article, and make it formulaic, which makes it fair to everybody around the table. Make it open. As far as I'm concerned, everything should be transparent and open. So.